93.3 KZOZ FM San Luis Obispo. The home of Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
They have no chemistry at all.
It is Dumbass of the Day, brought to you by Peterson's U-Cart. Everything you need to get your landscaping in shape, get your yard on point. Go to Peterson, the letter U, cart.com.
How pathetic can some people be?
I used to work at Delta Airlines, and people would call in, and I could always tell they were going to ask something dumb because they sounded like a hillbilly. And here's how it would go. There'd be a flight that would leave Cincinnati at 8 in the morning and arrive in Nashville at 7:54. And every time they'd be like, hold up. Are you telling me this plane is going back in time? Yes, that's what I'm telling you. Delta Airlines is invented time travel specifically for hillbillies, and it's only 6 minutes at a time. So pack your duffel bag, head, and get on there.
Dumbass of the Day. 93.3 KZOZ.
A family from Parker says they were shell-shocked when they were asked to get off a Southwest Airlines flight because their young son wouldn't wear a face mask.
CBS 4 investigator Brian Moss looked into what happened, and he has a surprise ending.
Jackson Harvey is a busy 2.5-year-old and not always compliant.
I said, ma'am, he's 2.
On April 1st, the family boarded a Southwest Airlines flight from DIA to Texas, headed to a wedding reception. But when Jackson would not wear his mask, the family was asked to get off the plane.
It felt very unfair. It felt very wrong. I said, you're kicking us off the flight.
Do you understand the flight attendants, why they said what they said and why they did what they did? Do you understand that?
100%. I get it.
Michelle Harvey says...
All right, we'll pause it there for a second. Here's the deal. Southwest Airlines, they got a rule. Kids 2 or over, got to wear a mask. I don't even have kids, and I know that. This is a family. Maybe you're too busy to pay attention to what you're doing. But, I mean, you're traveling across the country in a pandemic. Don't tell me that you don't understand what's going on when you get on an airplane. Don't tell me that you didn't look into the fact that you were going to have to wear a mask the whole time. How they were doing things, how they were doing... I mean, you just do that. That's normal.
But
when you're doing public transportation like this. And I know he's a 2-year-old, and I know you're going to say it's a stupid rule, and I agree. It's a stupid rule. I mean, no 2-year-old is going to keep their mask on. I don't have kids, and I know that.
It's tough. It's tough.
You have a 4-year-old.
Some 2-year-olds will. Some 2-year-olds will. My son is 4. At his school, he doesn't have to wear a mask. My daughter is 7. And at her school, she has to wear a mask the entirety. Somewhere in there, there's a line. I think that line is very low at 2. I would like for airlines to exercise some common sense in this arena.
It's crazy to me with customer service.
But I don't think they can because I think it's a rule.
Isn't Southwest, haven't there always been the people that fly Southwest, their customer service is always number one?
But I think this is an FAA rule.
So, okay. So there is no gray here. It is wear the mask or get off.
You're over 2, which would really peeve me if I'm the parents of this kid because I don't know how much 2 he is. There's a big difference between 2 and 364 days 2 and 1 and 364 days 1.
Right. But you know your kid. You know that he's going to have to wear a mask. And you know that he's probably not going to wear it. And you're just hoping they're going to be nice about it. And that's why I make them dumbass of the day. Because at number 1, that's number 1. Number 2, they're going to a wedding reception, which I don't think 2-year-olds belong at anyes.
Well, maybe that was a sitter when they got there.
Now,
that's possible.
The good news for them is, and maybe that was the case, they had her husband had a friend who heard about this through social media because the dad got mad when they got kicked off the flight.
No, it took to Facebook?
And did Facebook or something. And his friend back in Colorado flew down, was it Texas, I think? Flew down to Texas. And in his twin-engine private airplane, he's got a little twin-engine plane, loaded up the family and took them to their wedding destination, spent the week with them, and then came back.
That should be the dumbass right there because that guy just gave a family a ride in his plane, and that family normally flies on Southwest. That family can be hitting you up left and right.
Well, they owe him big time, right? I mean, they're stuck. There he is.
I knew I'd be giving up a couple of days of my time and the money for the gas and operating the plane and everything else. But if it's something I already love to do, this is an excuse to do a little more of it all at once and turn their day around in a big way.
You made a mistake, dude. You made a mistake. You made a mistake. You made a mistake. Like, if I owned a plane, I would never let anybody know I owned a plane. Like, you I think you have a problem as a pickup truck driver, as a pickup truck owner.
It's a big rig, Jeff.
As a pickup truck.
A rig.
And people ask you to move or haul stuff around for them.
Yeah.
Like, letting somebody know you have a plane is a whole different monster.
Who would have? And it would only be people that wouldn't check in to make sure that their kid in the mask. And I mean, it's so annoying to me that people just use this naive or I didn't know excuse.
Right.
Okay,
they
especially during a pandemic.
They should have trained their kid and seen, like, okay, we're going to try you out for a few hours wearing the mask because we got to prepare for an airplane trip. But I don't know. 2 years old, I don't know if you comprehend that when you're 2 years old.
Or not,
and like
bring
I
the
said,
kid.
2
Leave
years
with
old
grandma.
and 350 days is a different 2 years old than 2 years old and 1 day. The thing that would piss me off if I was the family is if there was another kid on the flight that was 1 year old and 364 days, they wouldn't have to wear a mask.
What do you have to bring a birth certificate now to show how old your kid is?
You have to provide a birth certificate because that's what they base their charges on. Because everybody that's over 2 has to pay for a seat on the plane. This is why airline travel sucks. It is not.
Are you going to fly during this summer at all? I know you have a little vacation.
You asked this question the other day to try to get out of me where I was going on vacation.
I don't want to know where you're going. I'm just curious.
I said no.
Are you going to have to deal with this, having your kids on a plane wearing a mask?
Yeah.
Are you prepared? Have you already prepared them?
We'll see.
You'll be dumbass of the day next. Don't get kicked off.
I don't think it'll be a problem. It will definitely it'll annoy them. But the thing is, if you're eating and drinking or something along those lines, isn't there some accommodation that you don't have to wear the mask?
Take it off to eat or drink.
Yes.
So just make sure your kid's drinking the whole time or eating, I guess.
I'm hoping by the time I take my trip, which is a few months away, that we get done with the theater of it all, to be honest with you.
Congratulations, Michelle and Eric Harvey. You are Jeff and Jeremy's
Dumbass of the Day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Don't be a dummy when it comes to your landscape supplies. Go to Peterson U-Cart on Gusta Road, just north of Quickie Car Wash in Atascadero.
We love U-Cart. You stay.
So you think you know my favorite product, and the question is, what product do you love so much that we'd get a tattoo of it?
Yeah, the reason why we're even bringing this up is, what's the name of that restaurant down there? I always see them when I go down there.
Farmer Boys?
Farmer Boys. I want to call it Farmer Brothers.
I've never seen it. I don't know.
The
I've never heard of it
place in
before.
Los Angeles.
Oh,
and
okay.
They'll give you, free burgers for life?
If you get Farmer Boys tattooed on you?
Is that what it was? Free burgers for life? It's their 40th anniversary. Free burgers for a year if they get a farmer.
Only a year? This is a lifetime tattoo, buddy.
Farmer Boys tattoo. Okay.
What's my favorite product, by the way? I don't even know what my favorite product is.
What if I offered you, I come to you as the Kirkland CEO.
Oh, God, Kirkland, no. I don't like Kirkland. I shop at Costco. I don't buy anything Kirkland.
No, I'm not saying Kirkland
except
brand.
for the coffee pots.
I'm not saying Kirkland brand. I'm saying as the CEO of Costco, I come to you, Jeremy, and I say, you know what? I hear you constantly talking about all the great deals that you're scoring at Costco. Would you be willing to get a Costco tattoo on your body, and we will give you a free item of clothing of your choosing every time you visit a Costco for an entire year?
No.
You wouldn't do that.
No, because the clothing is really cheap, number one.
Well, it's really cheap, but you're getting it for free. That's the
and
cheapest.
Number two, but still, it's not now. Now, you had me interested. You just, you're going to have to come up.
Your Costco clothes. Is the part of the reason why you love it because it's good quality or because it's cheap?
If you gave me $1,000 a month for a year.
No, cash. Why would we part with cash?
Credit. I don't want cash.
Oh, okay.
I want credit. $1,000 store credit.
$12,000? So you're asking for $12,000 for a Costco cash?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Of product?
Yeah.
Of product.
Of something they sell. It could be from the gas to the tires to the trips to the whatever. I can use it however Costco sells something. If I could get $1,000 a month for a year, $12,000, I would get a tattoo.
It's got to be a place that is not hideable through standard clothing.
So like on my leg or arm or something like that.
Yeah,
would be
you could. Yeah, we would accept forearms or legs, like a calf.
But if
ankle,
I'm wearing pants, then you wouldn't see it. Is that okay?
Or lower back.
No. What's the one product you would get tattooed on you so you could get it for free? 805-543-3693. You can also answer it on Facebook at Jeff and Jeremy.
Whoa! Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Jeff and Jeremy here online, KCOZ.com. Join the program anytime via the phone lines. You can call or text. It's the 805 Beer lines. Live the 805 lifestyle. Go to 805beer.com. 805-543-3693.
Will we ever get the National White House Correspondents' Dinner back? They just made an announcement that is going to be canceled this year because of
COVID.
But is it really canceled because
Did
of
Trump
COVID?
do that? Or no, they would
canceled because he hated him.
Well, he wouldn't go, but I don't know if he canceled it, did he?
Yeah, maybe they would have him,
but he wouldn't go.
He wouldn't show up.
Yeah, he's like, screw you guys.
Yeah, you guys just sit there and make fun of me all the time anyways.
Yeah.
I'm not going to that party.
Yeah, they're jerks to him. I mean, most of them, not everybody, but most of the media is mean to him. So he's like,
so after years and years of not having it because of Trump, or if they had it, then nobody paid attention to it because Trump wasn't there, so you couldn't get that response. And then now it's canceled because of COVID. Do you think we'll get it back next year? I don't think so. And this is why I don't think so. Is the first person that makes fun of Joe Biden messing something up is going to get in trouble, or they're going to be seen as insensitive, or I think we are in too serious of times to have fun with politics. I think those days are gone. Like when we watched late night shows when we were kids, the monologue would always have something to do with the president, but it was never divisive.
Right.
It was always, everybody knew that Dan Quayle misspelled potato.
Right.
And everybody got a laugh out of it. Probably even George Bush got a laugh out of the fact that Dan Quayle misspelled potato.
Along the line, and I think it was with the Bush administration, the attacks started to become more personal. And so then
not equal. They weren't equal. It seemed like it was one-sided, and there were nobody ever made fun of Obama too much. I mean, if he went out and threw a first pitch and he was wearing mom jeans and everybody had a good laugh about it, But maybe, was he the last president that it was okay to laugh about? Like, immediately, you brought up the point this week. There was something, a meme that was posted on our Facebook page that had to do with...
the Joe Biden one?
Yeah, Joe Biden said that he walked in on...
His son and his friend.
Hunter and his friends
giving themselves vaccine. It said, this is the kind of unity we need.
Which is kind of funny, given...
It's funny.
The headlines of the day, right?
Well, it's funny because we know the news.
Yeah.
We know.
And immediately, people are like chomping at the bit. They're like, yeah, he's a freaking idiot, man. And it's like, okay, ease up. This is meant to be a joke.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's just a joke.
This is meant to be a joke. Are we done laughing at politics? We can't laugh at politics anymore.
No, politics have become so personal now. It's crazy. And I don't know. It's just so weird.
It sucks.
There's an agenda out there on how the politics are covered. And depending on which party is leading and in office, that, I don't know. It's weird. It's just different. It used to be really fun to do that.
It's got to be terrible to be a stand-up comedian right now, because stand-up comedians used to be able to comment on differences in stereotypes. Forget that. That's not happening anymore at all. Last thing a stand-up comedian wants to do is be labeled a misogynist or a racist based on some jokes that they wrote. So that is out the window now. So what do? You pivot. Maybe you can pivot to some politics, but you pivot to politics. That's out the window. You can't joke about politics anymore.
You'll be attacked, yeah. Unless you're attacking a conservative or Donald Trump. I mean, that's it.
Even then, David Cross came to the Fremont And he started making some Trump jokes. So the first part of the Trump administration, and people started booing him and yelling at him and telling him to stay out of politics.
Like, dude, it's a joke.
He's a comedian.
It's a joke. It's a joke. He's just making a joke.
I don't know how harsh the jokes were, but he left the stage early. I know that.
Whenever you and I would make fun of Trump, there would always be somebody that didn't realize. I mean, we're kidding around. It's a joke. It's funny. It's funny. The way he talks is funny.
Well, and you have to be. I hate this whole feeling of having to be either or.
Yeah.
Like you say, I like some certain things about a certain person. This is how we used to treat our politicians. I mean, there were...
And they were so unattainable. It was just like...
There were Republicans, there were Democrats. Some Democrats had policy I liked, and I didn't like anything else they did. Some Republicans had policy.
Fight till the death to support whatever side they believe. It's crazy. It's politics.
Why is it right or die?
At the end of the day, it doesn't even really affect you.
Exactly. Your day-to-day operations has nothing to do with you. You're big picture.
It's kind of weird.
You got to call Michael Scott in on this one. The big picture.
Big picture stuff.
That's big picture stuff. Okay? It's most people are living their life like Jim Halpert.
I think Bill Clinton was obviously the last Democratic president to be made fun of. I mean, obviously he laid the bed. He made the bed for that. But why
does it have to be ride or die though?
And now it's like, even if it's conservative to liberals, it's like, gosh, Nancy and Chuck, and it's violent. And it goes the other way, too. It's violent. It's not just funny anymore. It's violent. Ugh, I had to tune out.
Who's at fault for it? The toxicity of it. Because it used to be, we'd all laugh at the dummies that we all voted into office, and we'd all have that in common. We no longer have that in common.
Honestly, I think it's social media.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it's everybody having a voice, and I don't know, it's weird. I mean, everybody had a voice, but now, I don't know, people
The beginnings of social media, I believe we were all still laughing together.
So tough behind your keyboard type thing, you know what I mean? So much more brave behind your keyboard than you are to say something in person. Most of these people that say this stuff would never say it in person.
So no more White House.
I heard a woman the other day said she started smoking again. I was at the pharmacy to pick up a prescription, and she was in front of me, and she's like, I need to get my Shantex or whatever it's called. And they were talking, oh, yeah. And then the girl behind said, oh, yeah, good for you. I quit, number of years. Oh, how'd you do it? She said, oh, yeah, well, I did. And I started and I stopped.
Smoking. I was wondering why she talked like
a
crow.
Yeah, she's been smoking since she was in junior high. I heard the whole story. The whole store did. She was yelling. Apparently she was deaf, too. And then she's like, yeah, then I started again, a divorce, and then a boyfriend breakup, and then a president. Oh. So you're telling me that whoever the president was made you smoke? That's ridiculous. Come on, stand up and take some ownership of your actions.
It's a disease, Jeremy.
Smoking?
Addiction. Addiction is a disease.
I can understand a divorce, maybe a breakup, but just to go blame somebody that you've never met, that has no reference on your life on a day-to-day basis.
People that smoke, they smoke for comfort.
Funny.
They smoke for comfort, correct? Right? So if anything is bothering them, they're gonna turn to that for comfort.
Turn the TV off then. The media was your problem, not the president.
So the media and social media are to blame for
the news media.
Us no longer being
the
able
mainstream
to
news
laugh.
media. Yes, I believe so.
We can no longer laugh thanks to our information sources.
That's not true. I'm still going to laugh. I still laugh at them.
Can I make you laugh?
You always do.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.